Hello everyone, Sean Almeida here for a little pre-summer update. The weather has been absolutely gorgeous. See all the green behind me. The city's fully green, fully alive, I would say. There's been a lot of attacks this month, including last night. Pretty bad one. I slept through it. I'm getting used to it. And just last week I woke up a couple times to some loud noises, and then last night I guess had a long week or something, and I didn't wake up at all. But for the people themselves, there's curfew from 12 o'clock now. So everyone has to be inside. So there's not much risk of getting hit or whatever. But then during the day, in the morning, as soon as you come out, like nobody's looking out, see what's in the sky. I think definitely the Patriot systems help people feel better, but overall, just people getting used to it. City getting back to life. So I saw some numbers. There's about 3.6 million people in Kyiv right now, and there's about 3.7, 3.8 before the full-scale invasion. So pretty much back up to normal. And then allegedly there's 300,000 to 400,000 more Ukrainians looking to move to the Kyiv. So what happened was a lot of people left Kyiv. A lot of them are probably still in Europe. So the getting back up to numbers was not people coming back necessarily. It's people moving from other cities. More dangerous cities, especially the east, of course, we had problems. So, a few 100,000 moved here, and then looking, 300,000 or 400,000 more are looking to come to Kyiv in the next year or so. So, when the war ends, you can expect another few 100,000 to come back. So, we're looking low 4 million, maybe more, population in Kyiv, which is very bullish for real estate purchases, and those who already own. So, of all our owners, we only have one that wants to sell. He wanted to sell before the war. Other owners, kind of see potential in the future. Local owners, for prices, there's a couple deals out there a little bit, but it's nothing like it was in 2017 or anything. So still, prices are still, upwardly sticky because people think are confident, looking at the EU thing in the long term. Those people have to sell cheap. They must be really desperate. But it's definitely the exception rather than the rule. So we have some buyers looking around, but we still haven't had a purchase or sale since the war started. It's definitely legal. It's possible. The register's open, but it's kind of buyers are expecting prices to go down even lower. But I'm not sure it's going to happen, to be honest. If the offensive goes well and things get better this summer, then prices could even just start creeping back up again. Even fewer people deciding to sell. So that's the sales market. I'm also obviously overall very bullish as well. I always have been, but even more so now. Having the city 3.7 million before the war, and then talking about 4 million plus, and there's always been a deficit, and then construction has slowed down a lot. Obviously, there's not enough men out there. A lot of them obviously are serving and stuff like that. So there aren't enough hands to get to keep the same construction level. So if you've got as more people and less construction, so you can do the math on that. Just the uncertainty with the war obviously is slowing down the sales market. I've heard it's down about 80%. One of the notaries we work with says it's down about 80%. So obviously massively. So that's the number of transactions. So anyways, so on that end, and also very positive on the rental side. So we've almost rented out all the properties that we manage. Actually, we have a couple left, but so we're basically back up to the same numbers we had during the before the full-scale invasion. So we had about, I want to say 26 occupied properties then, and then went down to about 6, I think, at the worst. Not everyone jumped out right away. Some people thought maybe it was over quick. So, but slowly over the months after, a lot of people just had not coming back. Sorry. So they bailed out. So it went down to about 6 properties occupied, which for my business, that's a big hit on the constant income, steady revenue stream. So anyways, now we're up to 23, and we have a couple of deals in the pipeline, I think. So we should be back up there normal. And the rental market prices, not quite back up, but then they're only down about, I would say, 10, 15, maximum kind of 20%, depending on what's there. So some sizes are not as desirable, larger ones. Top floor is considered a security risk for a lot of embassies and companies. So they usually top floor, obviously, assuming you have a lift, would be a big benefit. People want to be up higher and get a better view and stuff. But because security stuff, the top floors are kind of ruled out. So that's kind of, there are clients who will take it. I'm just saying a lot of clients are not allowed to because of their restrictions. So yeah, that's the rentals. renovations, everything takes so much longer. Maybe one of my owners will see this video and recognize it's just the guys. I mean, we had two main contractors to work with, general contractors. They have their own teams. They're partners, but they have their own teams too. And one of them just got drafted, so he had to report. So it slows down. Supply and deliveries of everything are slowed down. So, but we just finished up, a few finishing touches on one of our properties. So our first one we're finishing since the war started. We stopped when the war invasion started, picked back up. I think it was the mid to late summer, and then we just finished it. And then we have others still ongoing. So again, we're not as busy as we could be. We have more capacity, but it's going like that. So, anyways. But yeah, life in the city in general is fantastic, honestly. I've met some people who are just driving clients and other people, and they're just like shocked at just how normal it is. There's no way you would know there's a war on. And you might see a few more troops, walking around. There are some patrols, just in case kind of thing, or security. But in general, it's very, very pleasant. There's not many alarms during the day anymore. Usually it's just at night when we're sleeping, I don't know what they're doing, but the air defense has just increased so much. And then you can also go on Telegram and see what the alarm was about. Before, you're just kind of blind and everyone kind of started ignoring it, but now you can check whether it's just a plane taking off that's causing the alarm, or whether it's it'll say missiles inbound. You got 30-45 minutes till it hits Kyiv, stuff like that. So it's the life we live. You just get used to it. That's all I can say. I mean, it's when the large Patriot strike hit, I went to my window, just kind of watched it all. I could see from my apartment. I don't know. I was breathing a little bit heavy, but I mean, you just get used to it. So that's the crazy thing. Anyways, so that's the update for pre-summer. We'll see what happens moving forward into summer, but otherwise things are pretty good. So we'll be in touch.